All right, guys, welcome back in week 4 NFL season. Um, got some pretty interesting games this week. The 1 o'clock slate's pretty slow. We should probably see some blowouts in the 1 o'clock slate, but we got a great Sunday night football game to get to, and I think a pretty good Monday night football game as well. One of the two should be pretty decent. Um, Welcome back, Shane. Shane, what's going on? Then we had a nice break last weekend due to some family stuff going around. Obviously, family first. So, welcome back. Um, Before we get into football stuff, obviously, I'd like to go over our three sponsors here. If I can pull this up. First is going to be Pick City. Pick City been with me now for 4 years. These guys are the OGs. Guys over at PickCity.com. Get the best picks over at PickCity.com from some of the best and most respected handicappers in the business. Those guys are great. PickCity.com, you got about 30 guys over there who do a great job. I can vouch for any of those guys over there. They put a lot of time in. Great individuals as well. Next is going to be Stat Bets. So guys over at Stat Bets, known them now for about a month. Team over there drops some of the best CLV plays in the business. You can get full access into the Discord for as little as $100 today. Head over to statbets.com and start winning today. Player Profit. Ever wanted to place a big bet but didn't have the funds? Well, Player Profit allows sports bettors to do just that. Pass through 2 challenges on playerprofit.com and get funded up to $100,000. It's really that simple. Prove you are a successful sports bettor by passing the challenges. You can bet completely funded. You keep 70% of the profits that you make. Head over to playerprofit.com to get started and use code GGS for 10% off any package. The code is available multiple times. If you don't pass the first try, no worries. You can use it again. Use code GGS for 10% off any package. All right, let's get into the good stuff here. Week 4, starting out, we're heading to New York, Shane. I think we're going to agree on this one. Might be one of the only ones we agree on today. We got some history here in terms of Hackett. Get this straight now. Sorry, Hackett and Sean Payton. Sean Payton, remember, was it last year or 2 years ago? Said he was doing an awful job coaching that Broncos team. So a little revenge spot for Mr. Hackett. I think he lays the pipe on this Denver team. Denver coming off a 6.5, 7-point road win last week in Tampa Bay. Are we going to see a shellacking here, Shane?
This kind of probably a letdown spot. Like the Broncos had their big win last week against the Eagles, or not the Eagles, the
Bucks.
Bucks, and Jets are kind of firing on all cylinders. I think this isn't going to be a high scoring game. Garrett Wilson's going to be clamped up by Surtain. He'll be a non-factor. So you're relying on Lazard and Conklin and Brees Hall to be your main options here against what's been a decent Denver defense so far. Um, Bo Nix is just still not good.
Mm.
7.5 can be a lot here. Seeing how like the Jets aren't like a I'm gonna shove the ball down your throat, like score menacingly on you. They like to control the clock. But I think the Jets easily handled the Broncos here today.
Yeah, I don't see this being any really type of competitive. I could see even like a 24-10 game. I think Rodgers is, I think he's getting into his groove. He looked great last time out. Got an extra couple days to prepare against this. I think defense is playing above the norm here. Expected ability here for the Broncos. On paper, this Broncos team, should be playing as well on defense. So yeah, I think it's a pretty comfy win here. I like the under as well. I don't see Denver putting up too many points. Back-to-back road games. Did they go back to Denver, Shane, or did they stay in Tampa?
I'm assuming they went back
That's a lot of
because
travel.
I
A lot
mean
of travel for a rookie quarterback too.
Tampa isn't
Obviously,
that close to
I know, but you gotta go from
New York.
Denver to Tampa, Tampa back to Denver, Denver to New York. That's a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna take the home team here, who's firing on all cylinders. I think like Shane said, a great letdown spot for Denver here, getting 7.5. Usually that's the hook there is important too, because guys are gonna be, oh, I'm getting 7+ the half here on a road team who just blew up the Bucks. Yeah, I'll lay the points here. The Jets lean under as well. All right, it's do or die time for the Cincinnati Bengals. Laying 5 at Carolina. Obviously, Andy Dalton last week came out and whooped that ass against Las Vegas. I think we see a different story here today. Everyone's pumping up the revenge game for Andy Dalton. I think that's gone now. It's been a couple of years since he's been gone out of there. Bengals are desperate. Bengals are getting healthy. We saw Jamar Chase come back last week and have a hell of a game. He's getting back into the flow of things. I think T. Higgins, another week of health, should be good to go here too. Plus two running backs are good too out of the backfield. More about the defense here. I don't think Carolina really scares me on offense to expose the Cincy defense right now. So I'll lay the 5 here with Carolina. Not in love with it, laying 5 on the road. But I think it's a comfortable win for Carolina, for Cincy. So.
Yeah, this is a bit of what we mentioned, what I mentioned earlier of like letdown spot. Panthers get their big win, drop the most points out of any team last week. And then we saw the Bengals defense not look good on prime time, so everybody's going to think that they're going to be terrible in this matchup.
Yep.
I mean, the Panthers are without their best defensive player right now in Derek Brown. So honestly, I don't know if Joe Burrow's going to have to just air it out like crazy. I think they might try to just lean on the run here because the Panthers aren't good at defending it. But I don't see how – if the Bengals lose this game, then – I think there's no doubt that T. Higgins gets traded before the season.
I think Zach Taylor's fired too.
Yeah, the Zach Taylor coaching tree might have to be discussed because it's not. There's 3 people, and none of them are doing good. Because his brother's the OC in Jacksonville. See how that's going, and then you have the head coach of the Titans not doing good either in Callahan.
Yeah.
So this is very non-Shanahan tree-esque.
Yeah, for sure.
This is like a can't lose game for the Bengals.
Yeah,
they just can't.
I mean, you're laying 5 here. I think it should be a little more. I think it should be more like 6, 6.5. Like Shane said, another great letdown spot for this team here, coming off a road dog win. I love fading these teams. You come in off a road dog win, you got between 5 and 7 points, and you're getting 5 more at home. Yeah, I'm laying the 5 here. It's not a personal bet. It's not a VIP play at all, but lay the 5 here, bite the bullet, and I think Bengals get it done by 7+ today, pretty easily. All right, let me get organized here. Next one up. Might be game of the 1 o'clock slate here. Vikings taking on the Packers in Green Bay. Aaron Jones returns home in a revenge spot for him in his beloved town. This is a play for me today. Not in love with the spot. Shane and I talked about it earlier. Not in love with the spot in terms of, obviously Jordan Love's back. What is he going to be? Vikings 3-0 heading on the road to a rival. Letdown spot for sure. Could be definitely be a letdown spot, but Jair Alexander is questionable. If he's out, look for a passing game by Donald here, who's a great first 3 games of the season. I'm getting the 2.5 here. This line's bounced between 2.5 and 3. I'm taking the points here with Minnesota. Model has this game Vikings by 3 on the road. So yeah, I think they get an outright win here on the road. I'm not a huge fan of rushing Jordan Love back right here, to be honest with you. What are they, 2-1, Shane? Only lost to the Eagles, right?
Yeah, but we also don't know how really bad the injury was.
Mm-hmm. What I'm worried about too is they rush him back for this big game. Obviously a big game, right? It's your rival, it's your home game. You're looking to be 3-1, match them in the NFC North. Totally understand. Let's just say he comes out, right, and gets sacked, first drive of the game. Now he injures himself even more. Now he's out 4 weeks. Is it really worth playing him week 4 to get a a 3-1 record. Like I don't know. You already won 2 games with Malik Willis. You know your run game's strong. I think you can control line of scrimmage here at home with the fans and using that run game. But to throw him back in against a rival in a game where he's gonna think it's a must win spot now, I think it's a bad spot for Jordan Love if he plays. So, like I said, we have it Vikings by a field goal here. I think Vikings get the outright win and the kind of an upset here. Also, the 2.5 line. When I from betting now for a couple of years now, whenever I see a home team laying 2.5, it's kind of suspect. Because why would you take the road team at 2.5? What are you expecting to win by or lose by 2 points? You're expecting your home team to win by a field goal, which I totally get. But I'm gonna take the if it's a trap, I'll take the trap here at Minnesota plus 2.5, and I think they went out right.
I mean, between these two teams historically, it's literally been like a 50-50 split since 2013. Like you have 4-4 since 2020, 8-8 since 2016. I just would give the edge to the home team. Matt LaFleur 10-5 ATS at home against divisional opponents. He's 6-4 ATS all time against the Vikings. I don't believe in Sam. Sam Darnold isn't going to last the whole year. I'm sorry, he's not going to look like a top 5 quarterback the rest of the year. I've seen too much of him being a burger to think otherwise. I don't know. I'm just going to side with the home team. That's really all it is.
Again, I can't hate on it. Obviously, I think it's a good spot for Green Bay here. But I'm gonna ride with the data I got, and I'm taking the road dog here. Not in love with it at all. We'll get to another game I actually absolutely love at the 1 o'clock window. But yeah, this is one of my plays here. Vikings with the points, sprinkle that money line. I think they pull it off. Another dog I like here. They're traveling to Indy. Steelers on the road laying 2.5 at some spots in Indianapolis. Steelers looking to go 4-0 with Justin Fields at the helm. Colts looking to bounce back and go 2-2 in the year after a win against the Bears last week at home. Shane, it's another one. I think it's a bad spot for Pittsburgh, and I think you disagree, but I have the Colts winning this one outright, and it's not a play yet. I have not bet any money on this, but it might be by game time. And I love Justin Fields. You know I love Justin Fields, the most mid quarterback. I love his legs. You know how he uses that.
Pause.
I love how he uses his legs. He hasn't been making too many mistakes this year. Yes, they put him in good spots, but not put him in dangerous spots. But at some point, he's going to regress a little bit, right? We talked about with Darnold, he's going to regress, a little bit come midseason. So I think this is the spot. A desperate Colts team, 1-2 in the year, heading into week 4. Richardson has got something to prove here in week 4 as well, playing against obviously the best defense in football right now in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just can't imagine Justin Fields starting out 4-0. And if that's me being, I don't know, being ignorant, but again, I love Justin Fields. I've been a huge supporter of him, but starting out 4-0, 2-0 on the road. Actually 3-0 on the road, right?
No, they've had to have had a home game. They're not going to have 4 straight road games.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. So they want to be 2-0 on the road against the Colts team who's pretty hungry, I think. Coming off a home win, home again this week. I'll take the home dog here, getting 2.5. It might be dog of the week, home dog of the week for me here. Actually, it's not, but because we have the next team coming up. But another dog I love this week in the Colts.
I can't trust Anthony Richardson. Like, he just looks so not ready to play football. If he's going to just play the rest of the season, completing just like 9 or 10 passes, and for like a whole game, I can't trust on that. And like even last week, we didn't see him run.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big thing about Anthony Richardson is like, oh, he can run the ball, he can run you over, scramble. They're holding him back from, or I don't know if it's him or Steichen or whatever. They're holding him back from running the ball. So like, what is Anthony Richardson then? you know how much I hate Justin Fields, and I
Mhm.
have them going 4-0 here. And like historically, the Steelers have just always had the Colts number 8-1 straight up in their last 9, 26-7 all time against the Colts. It just seems like a matchup where history is just severely on one team's side. So I can't go against that long of a spree of domination between two teams. So I'm gonna ride with the Steelers. I think that Steelers defense is gonna give Anthony Richardson a lot of problems.
It will. It for sure will. I think it's gonna be a gross game. Low scoring. Team wins 17-14 type of game. Yeah, I like the live dog here, to be honest. All right, Jags and the Texans. I'm gonna have a little spiel for a minute here. So last week, obviously, we saw the total just dismantle of this Jacksonville team here, and I heard from the dude in front of me. I heard it from Twitter. I heard it from TikTok. I heard it from every single outlet you can think of. Jags, 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 Jags. And they just completely shit themselves. Okay? So we're going to stop with the whole bullshit of Trevor Lawrence is still good. He's not. We're going to stop with the whole bullshit of Peterson is a good play caller because he's not. He's too aggressive at times, and then sometimes he's not aggressive at all, which doesn't make any sense. The defense is confused. I think today that this team is going to get whooped again because I think CJ Stroud has a game against this defense. They have no clue what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. Josh Allen picked them apart from the freaking line of scrimmage. Not even just offensively playing. He picked them alive from without even spiking the ball. You can see they're confused. Yeah, the hype on this Jags team is unreal. People have them winning, covering again this week. I can't fucking see it. Some pros have it too. This line was 7. Now it's bought back down to 5.5. I can't see it. I think this team is lost. I think this team needs a total rebuild. You just gave Trevor Lawrence a huge contract. It's going to be up there with Daniel Jones as some of the worst deals in football history, I think. Like I said, your defense is a mess. I think Houston picks them apart. At home, a get-right spot for Houston. They've struggled a little bit this year in terms of offense and doing well on third down. So I think Houston rolls today, and I think Jacksonville their season's over. I think it's awful. It's awful. It's awful to watch. No run game, no O-line. The front seven's awful. The cornerbacks have no idea how to move in a man-to-man defense. It's brutal. So lay the points here. Lay it up to 7. This is a 10-point plus win victory for Houston here. It's gonna be another shellacking. This team's awful.
When the line was at 7, I was leaning Jags, but now that it's down to this, I can't. Like last year, I was all about being on Trevor Lawrence. Had him as my MVP. Fucking shot me in the ass real good. I don't know if it's like a lack of Evan Ingram not being there for this offense.
That can't be it, dude. He's solid, but he's not that tight.
He was just like the go-to like read in the middle is what I mean. And now he doesn't have that, and he's just like trying to air the ball deep and shit, and trying to run these like bubble screens, whatever, with guys that can't block. ETN looks like a cone right now.
It's awful.
Doug Peterson, I did have him getting fired by the end of the season.
If he loses this game, he's gone.
I think we're going to see him get fired a lot earlier than
this is it.
That Mixon did just officially get ruled out, but I mean, we kind of thought that he was going to get ruled out.
Yeah.
There's also no Tank Dell, but I think just having and Nico banged up, so like the script is there for the Jags cover, but I don't think they.
I can't.
I don't think they can it now.
I don't. I really don't. I mean, CJ is still young. He's obviously not Josh Allen, which people say he is, but he's not. But you're on the road, getting 5.5 here. It's just a bad spot. I mean, if they were at home, I could see it. Back at home off a blowout, and you got all these guys on Twitter. Oh, teams get blown up by 30+. You gotta take them with the points. No, you don't. Stop with this bullshit. Just because the team got blown up by 30, you got to take them next week. No, this team is not good. Okay, Houston's a better team here. They're at home. This line should still be at 7. I would lay it up to 10. This is not going to be good. Not going to be good. This is gonna be the worst game of the 1:00 slate. It's going to be a shellacking. All right, so I'm sick of and tired of this fucking Jaguars talk. It's awful. It's brutal. All right, next game. My dog of the week right here. And this line's going to move now because of all the injury news coming out. Eagles are banged up. I think they're laying an egg this week. I don't know if it's just because they have a bye week next week or what, but this line's now going down to a pick 'em, and it should be. I think this line was wrong from the beginning. I think I had Bucks win this game by 4 without the injuries. Now, this might be the playoff game last year. This is going to be ugly, I think. You got Tampa Bay off a home 7-point favorite, straight up loss, okay, against a bad Denver team. Okay, so they got embarrassed. You got Philly coming off, they're on back-to-back road games here, just like Denver is against New York. Back-to-back road games, coming off a game where they should have lost. They had some heroics with 40 seconds left. Dallas Goedert catches the longest pass of his career, and they run it in. So I think it's an awful spot for the Eagles here today with the injuries. Even without the injuries, I think it's an awful spot. This secondary is horrible. Bottom 10 in the league in yards per game allowed. Bucks are top 5 in yards per point. This team bounces back hard today. This team, I think, bounces back real hard in Tampa Bay. This is my dog of the week. VIP got it at +2.5. I laid the money line. Keep the points. Tampa Bay here. My best game, my play of the day. I don't have that when I bet, but my best bet today is Tampa Bay.
Yeah, no AJ Brown, no Devonta Smith, now no Lane Johnson on the road where Jalen Hurts is historically not that good at. He's 7-14-1 ATS as a favorite away from home, 1-4-1 in his last 6. The Bucks defense is bad, but I don't think they should really be struggling guarding. I don't even know who. Jahan Dotson, Paris Campbell.
Yeah.
A couple rookies that they drafted.
It's going to be Saquon in Dallas, and Tampa Bay has defended the tight end really well this year too. So I think it's a bad spot for him. This is going to be Saquon out of the backfield a lot today. This is going to be Saquon day. Here's a quick stat for you. Lane Johnson, right? Been in the league now for this is 11th year. When he plays, they are 97-59-1. That's a 62% winning percentage in 157 games. When he is out, 37 game sample size, 14-23, 37.8% winning percentage. Okay, so 3 leaders, 3 of your best players on this team out on back-to-back road games. Horrible spot for Philly. I would be shocked if Philly gets this win today. I mean, I was shocked they won last week, so you never know, but Tampa Bay bounce back spot off a horrible loss to Denver against a defense who can't stop the pass. My dog of the week, Tampa Bay Bucks on the money line. I got my +105. It's going to be dropping soon, just because the injury news coming in. Might be even a favorite by kickoff. So yeah, get that in quick once you see this. All right, moving right along here. This is an interesting game. Saints at the Falcons. Falcons here laying 3 now. It was open up at I think 1.5, laying 3. I have the Saints winning by 1 here today, Shane. Don't know what you got here for this one, but I have the Saints losing here. 3 points is definitely interesting now. It's been bought up to 3. I don't know. Saints off a bad home loss on the road now against a rival. What do you see here today?
The injuries for the Saints scare me. I was on the Saints at first, but He's just not good on the road. Chris Olave randomly coming up on the injury report with a hamstring injury yesterday. That's concerning.
Yep.
Kamara's been dealing with I think ribs and back, or maybe ribs and something. Multiple things he's dealing with because he has to touch the ball 20 plus times a game as a 30-year-old. This Falcon team is good. They've just kind of had a brutal start to their schedule, matchup wise, having to play Pittsburgh week 1 with Kirk Cousins' first game back, and then they played the Chiefs. They beat the Eagles in whatever the fuck that game was. The Eagles blew that, but this team is still really good, and Kirk Cousins has been getting back into his old self throwing the ball. He doesn't look like whatever he was in week 1 where he couldn't move. Just like how I said with Sam Darnold, the ride can't last forever. The ride with Derek Carr doesn't last forever. We've seen this for over a decade at this point. He's going to turn into a dud. He kind of looked like one last week against an Eagles secondary, and now he's going against this Falcon secondary, which is probably on paper the best in football. Saints offensive line's been playing far and beyond expectations. I don't see that continuing. Judon and Grady Jarrett have to start doing something at some point.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the home team here.
Yeah, I'm right with the home team here too. The 3 kind of scares me now. Key number of 3. But yeah, I think Kirk gets it done today at home. This is a Kirk game, not a primetime game at home. Short spread. This is a Kirk game. Yeah, I think Atlanta gets straight here. Brings the record back to 2-2. So yeah, I would lay the points here with Atlanta.
Also, Demario Davis is out for the Saints.
Oh, sweet Lord.
And there's one of their starting guards.
Yikes. No good. All right. This one, I hate this fucking game. I really do.
So do I.
So the Rams are obviously banged up heavily. The two, maybe not the best, but one of the best duos in football. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp both out today. They somehow sneaked out a win last week on the road. At home against a banged up Niners team by a late field goal, which they should have lost. And now you go home. Now you're gonna go on the road against a place they're not too familiar with in Chicago, and facing a 1-2 Bears team who's coming off 2 straight losses. I think it's an awful spot for the Rams, but there's no way in hell I'm laying 3 here with Caleb Williams. This is a total off game for me. I'm probably going to take the over just because – ooh, no, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the under here. No weapons for LA. Chicago's offense looks awful. And McVay against a rookie quarterback scares the living hell out of me. So – I have the Rams winning by 1. I'm obviously wrong in that because the line's ballooned up to 3 now. But I would not be surprised if Matt Stafford goes in here and gets an ugly win today in Chicago. Like I said, McVay against a rookie quarterback smells disaster for me. I think the Bears are still a disaster. I think that O-line is brutal for Caleb Williams. Not that the Rams have much front 7 right now, but I don't know. Just a tough spot for me to take either team here. I'd probably take the points just in getting the better quarterback, better coach off a win. But it's also a bad spot for the Rams. They're on the road, off a game they shouldn't have won against a rival. So it could be a letdown spot too. So it's a tough game to pick. I'll ride with the better coach, the better quarterback, getting 3 points here. But yeah, gross game.
I'm on the Bears.
Oof,
I hate it.
Lord.
I hate it. But you get a banged up offensive line and a no weapons Rams team going against a good defense on the road.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears are getting Keenan back, which who knows what that'll mean. Maybe gives Caleb a short down option, which Mikey might need because his offensive line is atrocious.
Bad.
I mean, we saw Caleb like kind of air it out a lot last week. Like he had a lot of yards, but he also threw the ball I think close to 60 times. But definitely not going to see that again. The Bears have no semblance of a run game, which doesn't help. DeAndre Swift, I believe, is getting benched today. Because they're saying that they really want to get Roschon Johnson involved. So for the fantasy darlings, I would say go pick up Roschon Johnson. I already did it, but of course I did it. But also Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay as underdogs, not historically good. 5-12 straight up as an underdog. It just seems like a pretty bad spot here for them. So I'm just gonna ride with the home team.
Yeah, I can't blame it. It's just tough for me to lay 3 here, what I've seen from Caleb. But again, I think it's a bad spot for LA too. Hell, this could be a field goal game, and everyone pushes, on the 3 here. But yeah, brutal game, brutal. All right, let's take a trip down to San Francisco with the New England Patriots getting 10.5 on the road in San Fran. You talk about bad spots. Whoa. Bad spot. Might be the worst spot of the week here. Yes, Patriots off a mini bye. Getting some extra rest. Great. That's great for them. Happy for them. You got the Niners coming off a loss. Laying points at home. Weapons are somewhat back. I think this is a brutal spot for my Patriots here. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, I understand that, dogs have covered a lot this year in terms of, getting points above 6. But man, oh man, I don't know how this Pats team gets many points on the board today. I think this team is fired up. I think they're gonna whoop that ass against my Patriots today. I have the under here too. I don't know what the total is at right now. Let me double check. But yeah, I like the under here.
I think it's 40.5.
Yeah,
that's what
this is under City. This is a good old beating here. This is 28-10, 28-7 game. This is going to be ground and pound, time of possession by San Fran, giving Brissett no time to get into the game, get back into the game. They're controlling line of scrimmage. They're going to, less penalties. And this is not going to be a good game for New England. So, laying 10.5 now, ooh, that's tough. The best bet here is the under. Lay the under. It's gross, I know. But you need San Fran to basically hold New England under two touchdowns. I think they can do it. So take the under here.
Yeah, I'm under in the Niners here. Debo and Kittle are back for this week now, so their offense is almost full go. Obviously, CMC's not out, but Jordan Mason's been more than a capable fill-in. There's not a single player on the Patriots team that I deem a threat in any capacity on offense or defense at this point. Actually, Christian Gonzalez, I will say, is your one.
Yeah, they got some good pieces in the secondary, but up front is lackluster, and their offense is just boring.
Surprisingly, they have a dude that's top 5 in the league in sacks. Don't know how.
Keon
White. I think that's just more. I don't even
He had
know
one good game.
But there's just nothing to talk about this Patriots team. There's literally nothing until Drake May starts, which you don't want to happen at all. But at some point this season, he's gonna jump into games. Maybe it's starting week 15 after their bye week. I don't know, because they have the latest bye week possible. There's just nothing. Like even Ramondre, like I can't get this. Every team's now just gonna load the box on him. Yep. He's not going to be able to run, and they're going to force Brissett to throw the ball,
and the O-line's brutal.
He's never been able to do. Jacoby Brissett isn't a gunslinger. He's the definition probably of a game manager, and he's on a team where there's no game to manage.
Correct.
So, yeah, I'll just take the Niners at home.
Yep. All right, interesting game here. Two quarterbacks playing really well to start the year. Two teams playing above than expected, I think. Um, Cardinals are my sleeper team heading into the year a little bit. I like Kyle. I like the weapons they have around them now. James Conner's a good back. Defense is still very suspect, which could be a recipe for disaster against Jaden Daniels, who's been playing really well. Here's my problem. At some point, he's going to have a bad game, right? He's a rookie quarterback. He's young. At some point, he's going to have those games where, like, wow, he looked pretty bad. I'm not saying it's today, but we've been talking about bad spots all day. This is one of them, I think, for Washington. They're coming off a primetime 7-point road dog victory on a short week. And I don't know. I think it's a recipe for disaster here. I think people are giving a little too much hype to Jaden Daniels and this team. I think Washington's defense is still pretty bad, just as bad as Arizona's. And I'm going to lay 3.5 here. We talk about how lines are there for a reason, right? You're going to tell me you're going to give Washington 3.5 after they just beat the Bengals outright getting 7? No thanks. Lay the 3.5 here. Cardinals win by a touchdown. Could be a great back and forth game, but I think end of the day, Cardinals win by 7+ points.
You mentioned Commanders off a big win. Now they're going on short rest from Cincinnati all the way to Glendale on short rest. So going kind of far distance here. Both these defenses are absolutely atrocious. Don't get me wrong. But the trend says that two bad defenses go under, and totals of 50 are 4-0 to the under this year. This also applies. I have a feeling this game's going to look kind of sloppy, but I think the Cardinals just kind of handle the Commanders. Kyler Murray's playing like a top 5 quarterback so far this year. Jaden Daniels has looked great, but I think he's going to have a bad passing game. I think he'll still be able to run on this Cardinals team because Cardinals can't stop anything on the ground. But I'll give the edge to better quarterback, and I think right now the better head coach, because we've seen Dan Quinn fizzle out as a head coach before. Gannon seems to have the guys at least building somewhat of a culture here.
For sure.
So I'll take the home team.
Awesome. All right. We have to talk about it, but it's just out. This might be the most.
Let's get this one over quick.
Obviously, Chargers really banged up. Shane will have the injuries for you here in a minute, but both tackles out. I think Bose is out. Herbert's still a question mark. If they play him today, it's gonna be bad, dude. This is a game you don't play him right now. Right? You get both your tackles out. You got a D line that's pretty decent coming after the quarterback. Brutal spot, I think, for Chargers here. You are getting a home divisional dog, getting more than 7 though, which is tempting. But you're gonna probably see Taylor Heineke with no O-line versus the Chiefs and Spagnuolo, who blitzes like every play. Against the defense, who is, I think, old and slow, versus a team who is really young and fast. So a recipe for disaster there. And I'm gonna lay the points with the Chiefs here. I think this could be a pretty comfy win for Kansas City.
I'm not gonna I could just list all these stats to just say Mahomes great, but just give me take the Chiefs. Injured quarterback or bad backup with no offensive line and no weapons going against Kansas City.
No good.
Yeah, I'll pass on that.
Another injury. This one can keep it short and sweet too. All right, so little transparency here. I had the Raiders winning this game before the injury news came out. I had a bet my team had a bet at +1.5. It got all the way to -2 Las Vegas. Okay, a couple of days ago. Feeling great about the bet. We got 3.5 points of line movement to our side. Awesome. That's great. Bang. Devontae Adams and Crosby both out. Wonderful. Line goes all the way back the other way towards Vegas plus 1.5, and we hedge out of it. So we are out of this game. If Browns don't win this one, holy moly. You're getting the Raiders banged up with two of the best players out against Minshew now with absolutely nobody to throw to but Jacoby Myers. And their tight ends out too, not Brock, but
Michael Mayer.
Michael Mayer's out too. So yeah, Browns should win this one pretty easily.
I think even with the tackle injuries for the Browns should just probably be able to run the ball here. Raiders already can't run the ball, so you just have to worry about Gardner Minshew passing. Yeah. And now if the Raiders have been public about there being question marks at the quarterback position right now. Worst thing you could have done. You don't just let it be known, oh, we're thinking about maybe doing a quarterback change, and then be like, no, we're not gonna make the change. Like, I don't know what we're like. Minshew, I don't think hasn't looked like terrible. So no, it's not a quarterback.
He's managing the game.
It's not a quarterback issue that they have. It's just I think it's a play calling issue for sure. And it's just the fact that, again, they have the worst run game of the last they have no 10 talent. Plus years.
There's no talent.
No, but everybody thought Zamir White was going to be gross this year. Imagine being the guy that said he was just going to be like what Alexander Madison was last year. Like I don't know who would have done that, but just the Raiders. I don't know how you can root for them in this spot. Like if they had Max Crosby, then I would then that just changes everything because he's in that Myles Garrett, TJ Watt tier. But without him, it's like yikes.
100%.
Just yikes.
All right, Sunday Night Football here. Game of the week, probably. You got the Buffalo Bills coming off a home beatdown of the Jags, taking on the Ravens, coming off what should have been road beatdown of the Cowboys, which they ended up giving up a couple fourth quarter points here and ended up being a closer game than it should have been, which is turning into a big thing here for Baltimore in these last couple weeks. But you're getting Lamar as a short favorite, which is a good spot for him usually. You're getting the Bills in a letdown spot off a blowout home win on primetime. I have the Bills winning this game in terms of my numbers, but I do not like the spot for Buffalo here. You get Lamar Jackson back to 2-2. You let the Bills get a first loss of the year at 3-1. They're still mighty fine. The problem I have with this Ravens defense is they're great against the run. Okay, top 10 against the run, awful against the pass. We saw what Dak did in the fourth quarter last week against this team. The difference between Dallas and Buffalo is their defense is much better. They're playing better. They're faster to the ball, less penalties. They're not old as hell at this Dallas Cowboys defenses. I think they hold the run game pretty decently tonight. But I just think Lamar, it's a good spot for Lamar. You're back at home, laying a small number against a team who's hot, very hot. Best team in football right now. So I personally, if I'm going by what my model says, it's Bills plus the points. But I think it's a bad spot, which is why I'm not going to be betting it. But yeah, I think Lamar gets it done tonight, gets his record back to 2-2. Tries to take control back of that division again with, Bengals are struggling. Steelers are just playing out of their minds right now. Probably going to be 4-0. I think it's going to be 3-1, but good spot for Baltimore here to get back even.
Yeah, I'm on Baltimore here. Lamar 6-1 on Sunday Night Football has won 5 straight. Josh Allen 2-5 ATS on the road on extended rest. I think Lamar might be able to run all over this Bills defense. Like, they're good at stopping kind of the interior run, but Lamar's just too dynamic here, and I don't know with the injuries that they've had at linebacker and the losses in the secondary at safety, I don't know who's going to be able to really keep up with.
I think the only way Lamar loses this game if he gives it the ball, throwing it, picks and turnovers. which he hasn't had to yet because he's been ahead in most games. If they get down early and they have to pass against this defense, I think could be a recipe for disaster for Baltimore. But I think with them controlling the game, controlling line of scrimmage with the run game, having the ball in their hands, keeping away from Josh Allen, if they can do that and not turn the ball over and just pound the ball in the on the ground, I think it's a good recipe for them. What happens is when Lamar gets down, I think they put the ball in his hands a little too much, and he tries to do too much with throwing the ball, and that's when he gets in trouble. So we'll see how this game's going to go in the first quarter. If it's going to be a ground and pound scheme by Baltimore. I mean, Bills have been the best run team, one of the best run teams in football too. We don't talk about them too much in terms of running the ball, but James Cook is on fire right now, and Joe Brady, the OC for the Buffalo Bills, is absolutely killing it with play calling right now. So, two good teams, one team looking to bounce back and get back in the season. The Bills are playing maybe the best football they've played with Josh Allen, but they haven't played too many good teams. Bills combined record wins is the only teams the teams they've beaten have a combined record of only 2 wins. Baltimore has played teams with a combined record of 6. So a little bit of a talent adjustment here for Buffalo on the road in prime time. Yeah, let's take Ravens here minus the points. All right, we're gonna get right into Monday Night Football here. What a shit game!
Oh,
What
this
an
is what we live
absolute dumpster fire here.
for. This is what we live for.
I have no idea how you make the Dolphins favorites here. I really don't. I understand that Tennessee's been struggling. In terms of on paper talent, Tennessee's a better team. Better quarterback. Weapons still really good for Tennessee. For Levis to do something, he needs to stop making mistakes. If you're going to go up, if Will Levis is going to go up against a team that won't turn him over, I think it's this Miami Dolphins defense. They don't create a lot of turnovers. They'll let you get yards and stop in the red zone, which is fine. But good Lord, this Miami offense. You got Tyler Space Teeth Huntley at quarterback tomorrow night. Built the team for a week. Okay. On prime time here. I think it's an awful spot for the Dolphins. I love the dog here in Tennessee. Time to get right. Time for Will Levis to have a game to prove that he belongs here. Give me the +2.5. I'll take the road dog here on Monday Night Football.
Dude, I just got off the Titans and I'm picking them again. I was so done with them. But this game is going to be actually maybe the worst game of the year.
Could be.
And we're not even going to get at the point where teams are just playing backup quarterbacks and stuff. Full bowl teams. I mean, you could argue Will Levis is a backup, but the total of this game is 37, and totals of that are 31, 11, and 1 to the under since 2020. So already set at a low total, so expect it to be even lower than that. Mike McDaniel 2-4 ATS without Tua. Dolphins are 1-3 ATS at home on extended rest under Mike McDaniel. Miami 2-8 straight up at night since 2022.
Thanks.
We saw this game happen last year, and the Titans pulled out that miracle comeback. They were down 14 with 3 minutes left, and they won. I think if the Titans are smart, just run the ball with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. The less that Will Levis has the ball in his hands, the better.
Yeah.
So if they can as long as they manage clock and don't force Will Levis to just heave the ball down the field, or have a play that ends up being a meme because he's had 3 straight weeks of having something that end up looking like a meme. The Titans should be fine. I have this 17-6 Titans. I don't think the Dolphins really score at all.
Yeah, I can't really see them being too much scoring. I mean, unless Will Levis goes off here, which I don't see happening. But he's gonna have that breakthrough game at some point. I think too much talent on the offense not to have a good game once in a while. Maybe it's this week, maybe it's not, but we'll see. Yeah, I like the road dog here in Tennessee. And I like the home team here. Seattle Detroit. Holy points coming Monday Night Football. All the way to 3.5 here, Detroit. I think it's pretty simple. Better quarterback, better coach. Um, I think a team that needs to get right spot in Detroit. Maybe calm down the jitters a little bit in terms of what their season's going to be. At home, Monday Night Football, the team they're very familiar with. They played them, I think, 2 or 3 times the last couple of years. But yeah, let me lay the points here with Detroit at home. One dog, one favorite. Monday Night Football with 2 teams. I'll lay the points here with Detroit.
So yeah, these teams have played like 3 times the past couple years, and the lowest the points total has been at the end of the game was, I think, 68 total points between both teams. Expect a lot of airing it out on both sides, I think. Seahawks do get Kenneth Walker back, which, I mean, I don't know how full on he's going to be with the oblique injury that held him out a couple weeks. But there's just too many playmakers on both sides, and these teams love just bashing on one another with points and yards. But I'll take the home team. Goff has to figure it out at some point. He hasn't looked great to start the year. Yeah. Good for my sleeper MVP pick of him. But in primetime, Goff is a lot better than what Geno is in primetime in terms of like covering and winning straight up. So just give me the home team.
Yeah, it's a better team too. Like I said, better team, better quarterback, better coach. Rookie head coach in prime time in a bad spot. Yeah, I'll think the head coach would have his team better prepared in a really important game for the Lions team here. Seahawks will play the easiest schedule coming into this game too. It's kind of like the Bills a little bit. Obviously, the Bills are a better team than Seattle, but they haven't played much of any talent. Seattle, easiest schedule for the first 3 weeks. So first big tough game on the road in prime time. Yeah, I'll lay the points here with the home favorite. So, all right. Anything else, Shane, before we let the guys go and watch some foosball?
They gotta get on the road and get to watching these games and just get ready for probably a bunch of mediocrity because the scoring has been at almost an all-time low over the past 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a lot of run-heavy offense. I think it's because of the 2 deep safety look that they're getting a lot in football now. The fact that people want to ban that, I think, is just retarded. But yeah, it should be interesting. A lot of good games today. Again, dog of the week for me. Buccaneers at home. Get it in early. I think this game is going to move before kickoff. So, all right, fellas. We'll hit you back next week. Have a great Sunday. Later.
Enjoy some